Walk alone now. They will follow later. There comes a moment in every person's life when the crowd disappears. The applause stops. The support fades. The messages become fewer. The room becomes quieter. And suddenly, it feels like you are the only one left carrying your dream. That is the moment that breaks most people. But for a rare few, that moment becomes the beginning of greatness. Because greatness has never started with a crowd. It starts with one person. One vision. One belief. One lonely step taken in the dark. Walk alone now. They will follow later. Understand this deeply. The world does not celebrate potential. It celebrates proof. People do not gather around dreams. They gather around results. At first, nobody sees what you see. Nobody understands the fire inside you. Nobody feels the obsession in your heart. Nobody can hear the conversations you have with yourself late at night when you promise your future that you will become more. And that is why the journey begins alone. Every legend walked through isolation before recognition. Every champion was doubted before being admired. Every successful person spent years looking invisible before the world suddenly called them lucky. But it was never luck. It was endurance. It was sacrifice. It was the courage to keep walking while nobody clapped. Most people only support movement after they see momentum. That is human nature. When you are struggling, people question you. When you are building, people ignore you. When you are growing, people misunderstand you. But when you finally rise, suddenly everyone says they believed in you from the start. Do not be angry at that. Expect it. The truth is, many people cannot recognize vision until it becomes reality. That is why your job is not to convince everyone. Your job is to continue walking. Even alone. Especially alone. Because isolation is not punishment. Isolation is preparation. The universe removes distractions before elevation. Think about it. A seed grows underground first. Invisible. Silent. Buried. Nobody applauds a seed underground. Nobody celebrates roots forming in darkness. Yet without that hidden phase, there would never be a tree. Your lonely season is your root-building season. This is where discipline is created. This is where emotional strength is born. This is where your character is forged. Anybody can stay motivated when surrounded by support. But can you continue when nobody checks on you? Can you continue when your progress is invisible? Can you continue when your family doubts your path? Can you continue when friends laugh at your ambition? Can you continue when success feels far away? That answer will determine your future. Because life tests people with silence before rewarding them with recognition. Most people quit during the silent phase. They need immediate validation. Immediate applause. Immediate proof. But real growth is slow. Real transformation is lonely. Real success is built in private long before it becomes visible in public. The gym is lonely at 5 a.m. The study table is lonely at midnight. The business startup phase is lonely. The healing journey is lonely. The self-improvement journey is lonely. And that loneliness destroys weak minds because weak minds depend on external energy. Strong minds create internal energy. That is the difference. You must learn how to become your own motivation. Your own supporter. Your own believer. Your own source of power. Because there will be days when nobody believes in you except you. And those are the days that matter most. Anybody can move forward with encouragement. Warriors move forward without it. There is a dangerous trap in life. Waiting for approval before taking action. Some people never start because they are waiting for everybody to understand them first. But listen carefully. If you wait for universal support, you will die with unused potential. Some visions are only given to you because you are the one meant to carry them. Not your friends. Not your neighbors. Not the crowd. You. And the path of visionaries has always been lonely in the beginning. When you choose discipline in a world addicted to distraction, you walk alone. When you choose growth while others choose comfort, you walk alone. When you choose purpose while others chase temporary pleasure, you walk alone. When you refuse mediocrity, you walk alone. But later they follow. Not because you begged them to. Not because you convinced them. Because results speak louder than explanations ever will. One day the same people who laughed at your consistency will ask for your advice. The same people who ignored your effort will admire your success. The same people who disappeared during your struggle will reappear during your victory. But by then, you will have evolved. You will no longer need external validation because the lonely road taught you self-respect. Never fear being misunderstood. Most innovators were misunderstood. Most leaders were doubted. Most powerful transformations looked crazy in the beginning. People judge based on current evidence. Visionaries move based on future possibilities. That is why ordinary minds and extraordinary minds think differently. Ordinary people ask, "What if I fail?" Extraordinary people ask, "What happens if I never try?" Fear stops millions of people from becoming who they were born to be. Fear of judgment. Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. Fear of standing alone. But everything powerful requires separation first. Think about eagles. Eagles do not fly with pigeons. When you rise higher, your circle naturally becomes smaller. Not everybody can go where you are going. And that truth hurts sometimes. Because growth often requires distance. You will outgrow conversations. Outgrow environments. Outgrow habits. Outgrow people. And while that process feels painful, it is necessary. You cannot evolve while staying attached to everything that keeps you small. Some people want your old version forever because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. Do not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Do not apologize for becoming stronger. Do not feel guilty for wanting more from life. You were not created to stay average. You were not born just to survive. There is greatness inside you waiting for permission to emerge. And sometimes greatness requires solitude. Silence reveals truth. Loneliness reveals character. Pressure reveals identity. When nobody is around, you discover who you really are. Can you stay focused without supervision? Can you stay disciplined without attention? Can you stay committed without rewards? That is the real test. The world sees trophies. The world sees money. The world sees fame. But the real battle happens internally. The battle between discipline and excuses. The battle between fear and faith. The battle between comfort and growth. Every morning you either choose evolution or repetition. And evolution often feels uncomfortable because your future self demands sacrifices your current self resists. But comfort is expensive. Comfort steals dreams slowly. Comfort creates regret. Comfort makes years disappear without progress. One day many people wake up trapped in lives they never wanted because they spent years avoiding temporary discomfort. Do not let that become your story. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever. Right now, while others waste time complaining, distracted, gossiping, doubting, sleeping on their goals, you build. Quietly. Relentlessly. Patiently. Because deep down you understand something powerful. Small daily actions create massive future outcomes. One workout may not change your body. One book may not change your life. One business idea may not make you rich. One day of discipline may not transform your future. But repeated consistently over years, everything changes. Mountains are moved one stone at a time. Empires are built one brick at a time. Legends are created one disciplined day at a time. The problem is that most people quit before compound growth appears. They stop during the invisible phase. Imagine planting a tree and digging it up every week to check the roots. That is what impatience does. Trust the process. Your consistency is creating something even when you cannot see it yet. The hardest part is continuing without evidence. That is where faith becomes necessary. Not religious faith alone. Faith in yourself. Faith in the process. Faith that your effort matters. Faith that delayed results are not denied results. Too many people give up one chapter before the breakthrough. They stop because nothing seems to be happening. But success is strange. Sometimes progress is invisible for years, then suddenly life changes in one season. People call it an overnight success. What they did not see were the lonely nights, the sacrifices, the discipline, the failures, the tears, the self-doubt, the years of unseen work. Nobody sees the underground roots. They only notice the tree once it rises above the surface. That is why you must stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. Comparison destroys focus. Your path is unique. Your timeline is unique. Your mission is unique. Focus on becoming better than the person you were yesterday. That alone is enough. There will be moments when exhaustion hits you. Moments when quitting feels reasonable. Moments when loneliness feels unbearable. Moments when your own mind attacks you. And during those moments, remember why you started. Remember the version of yourself you promised to become. Remember the pain that pushed you toward change. Remember the dreams that keep you awake at night. You did not come this far just to surrender. Temporary emotions should never make permanent decisions. Feel the doubt. Feel the fear. Feel the exhaustion. But keep walking. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement despite fear. Anybody can talk about ambition. Very few people can survive the isolation that ambition demands. Because ambition changes your lifestyle. While others party, you work. While others waste time, you study. While others sleep, you prepare. While others seek entertainment, you build your future. And people may call you obsessed. Let them. Average people call discipline obsession because your focus exposes their distractions. Do not let distracted people define your destiny. Protect your energy. Protect your mind. Protect your standards. Your environment matters more than most people realize. Energy is contagious. If you surround yourself with negativity long enough, negativity becomes your identity. If you surround yourself with excuses long enough, excuses become your language. If you surround yourself with mediocrity long enough, mediocrity becomes your ceiling. That is why solitude can sometimes be healthier than bad company. Never fear walking alone if the alternative is walking with people destroying your future. A lion walks alone sometimes. Not because it is weak. Because it knows its power. Learn how to enjoy your own company. Learn how to sit in silence without feeling empty. Learn how to build without announcing everything. Not every move needs validation. Not every dream needs to be shared early. Some goals grow better in private. Move in silence until your results become your introduction. There is power in privacy. People talk too much and execute too little. Protect unfinished visions from unnecessary opinions. Because many dreams die from overexposure before execution. Work quietly. Build quietly. Improve quietly. Then let success make the noise. One day your life will confuse people who underestimated you. Not because you became lucky. Because you became consistent. Consistency is a superpower in a distracted world. Most people are controlled by moods. If they feel motivated, they work. If they feel tired, they stop. But disciplined people understand something important. Feelings are temporary. Standards must remain permanent. You cannot build an extraordinary life with inconsistent effort. Rain or sunshine. Good mood or bad mood. Applause or silence. You continue. That mentality separates winners from dreamers. Dreamers imagine. Winners execute. And execution often feels repetitive. Boring. Slow. Unglamorous. But repetition creates mastery. Mastery creates confidence. Confidence creates influence. Influence changes lives. Never underestimate what years of focused effort can do. A single decision can redirect your destiny. Maybe today is that decision. Maybe today is the day you stop waiting for rescue. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody will magically build your dream for you. Nobody owes you success. Your future is your responsibility. That truth is heavy. But it is also empowering. Because if your future depends on your actions, then your past does not control your destiny anymore. Your mistakes do not define you. Your failures do not finish you. Your setbacks do not destroy you unless you stop moving. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every successful person has failed repeatedly. The difference is that they refuse to identify themselves by temporary defeat. A loss is an event, not an identity. Read that again. A bad chapter does not mean your story is over. Some of the strongest people alive survived seasons that should have destroyed them. Pain can either break you or build you depending on how you respond to it. And often the people who rise highest are the people who suffered deeply but refuse to stay down. Your scars can become strength. Your struggle can become wisdom. Your loneliness can become independence. Everything depends on perspective. Maybe life isolated you because it was training you to rely on yourself. Maybe the betrayal taught you discernment. Maybe the failure taught you resilience. Maybe the silence taught you focus. Nothing is wasted if it makes you stronger. Stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That question changes everything. Victims search for blame. Leaders search for lessons. And the moment you start extracting lessons from pain, pain loses control over you. Growth begins when excuses end. No more blaming circumstances. No more blaming timing. No more blaming people. Take ownership. Ownership is power. When you accept responsibility for your future, you stop waiting and start creating. That is how transformation begins. One decision. One habit. One disciplined action repeated daily. The world changes externally after you change internally. Everything starts within. Your thoughts shape actions. Your actions shape habits. Your habits shape identity. Your identity shapes destiny. That is why mindset matters. If you constantly tell yourself you are weak, broken, unlucky, incapable, your behavior will eventually match that belief. But if you train your mind to say, "I adapt. I grow. I endure. I learn. I continue," then slowly your reality starts changing. The mind is powerful. Protect what enters it. Be careful what you watch. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful what voices you allow to live in your head. Negative environments poison ambition. You cannot feed your mind garbage daily and expect greatness to grow. Feed your mind with discipline. With knowledge. With purpose. With vision. Become addicted to growth. Not attention. Not validation. Not shortcuts. Growth. Because growth changes everything. There are people right now who will never understand your path. That is okay. Not everybody is supposed to understand your mission. Stop wasting energy explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Silence is often stronger than arguments. Your results will explain your journey eventually. Until then, continue walking. Continue building. Continue evolving. Even if nobody notices. Especially if nobody notices. The hidden years matter most. The hidden years create the visible future. A diamond is formed under pressure. Gold is refined through fire. Strong people are built through adversity. Do not pray only for easier lives. Pray for stronger minds. Because strength changes how you experience difficulty. Weak minds collapse under pressure. Strong minds grow through pressure. And strength is developed, not inherited. Every difficult day you survive increases your emotional endurance. Every time you resist quitting, your identity becomes stronger. Every disciplined action becomes evidence that you are transforming. Identity is built through repeated proof. You become what you repeatedly do. Not what you occasionally say. Not what you occasionally dream. What you repeatedly do. That means every day matters. Every hour matters. Every choice matters. You are either building your future or delaying it. There is no neutral direction. And remember this. Nobody suddenly becomes successful. People become successful quietly long before the world notices. Success is usually boring before it becomes exciting. It is repetition. Learning. Adjusting. Failing. Improving. Trying again. That cycle repeated for years. Can you handle that process? Can you stay loyal to your goals even when results arrive slowly? Can you continue walking when the road feels empty? That is the real question. Because many people love the idea of success. Few people love the process required to earn it. But the process is everything. Fall in love with improvement. Fall in love with discipline. Fall in love with becoming stronger. And one day the outcomes will follow naturally. Remember, the crowd always arrives late. First they doubt you. Then they watch you. Then they copy you. That is the pattern. Do not stop because nobody believes yet. Most people only believe after evidence appears. Your responsibility is not managing their opinions. Your responsibility is maximizing your potential. The greatest revenge is not anger. It is success. It is peace. It is transformation. It is becoming so strong internally that external negativity no longer controls your emotions. And that level of strength requires solitude. You cannot hear your inner voice clearly while constantly surrounded by noise. Sometimes distance creates clarity. Sometimes isolation creates focus. Sometimes loneliness creates purpose. Do not run from the lonely chapter. Use it. Build yourself there. Reinvent yourself there. Discover yourself there. One day you will look back and realize the season that felt empty was actually the season building your future. And when that future arrives, people will follow. Not because you chased attention. Because you became undeniable. That is the goal. Not popularity. Not approval. Not temporary validation. Become undeniable. Become so disciplined they cannot ignore you. So focused they cannot distract you. So consistent they cannot stop you. So resilient they cannot break you. That power is available to anyone willing to endure the lonely road long enough. Including you. Especially you. So if today feels difficult, if today feels isolated, if today feels misunderstood, good. You are probably growing. Keep walking. Keep building. Keep learning. Keep fighting. Keep becoming. Because the road you walk alone today may become the path others follow tomorrow. And years from now, when people admire your confidence, your success, your mindset, your strength, they will never fully understand the price you paid in silence. But you will know. You will remember the lonely mornings, the exhausting nights, the doubts you defeated privately, the battles nobody saw. And that memory will make your victory meaningful. So walk alone now. Not forever. Just long enough to become who you were meant to be. Because eventually, the world follows those who refuse to stop walking.